Happy Friday, East Tennessee. It is a holiday weekend underway. In fact, some of us are probably already there mentally. Maybe you're actually someplace far away and you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook. But I want to say good morning to you. From the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center, temperatures are a little sticky. I would say at the very least it's 67 degrees in Knoxville, 59 degrees in Oneida to start the morning here on the 24th of May. 2024. Hard to believe, but this is the unofficial start of summer, as they say, right? The Memorial Day weekend. Many of us will be getting out on the water, maybe in the local neighborhood pool or the lake, maybe on a jet ski or a boat or a pontoon. Who knows where you're going to be? I can only guess, but love to hear what you have to share in the comments section. We have 60 right now in Crossville, in the heart of Cumberland County. It's 65 Newport. It is 66 degrees in Maryville and Morristown coming in with a pair of sixes. It's a little sticky. We'll look at dew points here in a moment, but the fog is still clinging to some of the hills. We had quite a bit of rain, which we're going to do a nice review over the last 12 hours here in just moments. But the visibility has dropped down to 1 mile at McGee-Tyson Airport. That's what that one over Knoxville City here properly suggests, but that's a McGee-Tyson observation. Middlesboro, also Wartburg, probably very poor, but where it really is bad, we see some zeros, and I'm seeing 3 of those right there, Jacksboro and Oneida and Jonesville, so with some patches of dense fog, and don't want to leave out Athens. Athens got very poor visibility, as with some of the Smokies. So just drive extra carefully this morning. The sun is up, came up a few minutes ago, but there will be some poor visibility in spots. Now, the ultimate Doppler radar at this hour is not showing much at all. In fact, we've made some dramatic changes to the outlook today. I had us about 80% chance of rain last night into today, but now I'm going to have to cut it in half to 40%, simply because it's like tracking waves at the beach. Have you ever been to the beach lately? The waves, it's like it's crashing over here, but it's cresting over here. So this type of situation is not unheard of, but keep in mind that the chance of rain is present. It's just not as high as what was first thought. And the reason is because we had such active weather last night. You need some evidence. Our friends in Crossville were under a tornado warning last evening, and that was during their drive o'clock, around the 5 to 6 p.m. Central Time frame. But let's go ahead and back and review that. In fact, I think, yeah, there it was. It'll go back. But this all came into town. And then once it moved east of I-75, it rained, but a lot of the severity began to lose some of its punch, and we saw these strong storms come into town. But this is the way it's looked overnight. There's been some rain just north of Maryville, south of Newport, 3 or 4 in the morning, and now things have quieted down. So watch it reload. Again, this is a 12-hour interval. This is one of the features I show quite a bit to my premium members, is they like to see what they missed, right? If you weren't watching or paying attention, it's nice to see it on a high speed here, but you could see some very heavy rain around Madisonville. There were some aerial flood advisories down there over the last 12 hours. That was like 1 or 2 in the morning. It finally expired, and then there were some more showers in northern Sevier County in the wee hours of the morning. So this rain, while it wasn't everywhere all the time, that's the setup for the rest of the weekend. We have the chance of rain. It'll be about 40% today. I have not changed our Saturday. Our Saturday is still about 20%, and even Sunday, most of it with a 30% chance. It really only builds to the peak event, the crescendo, as it were. It's going to come in late Sunday night into Memorial Day itself, and it should be out of here mainly in the morning hours on Monday. So Memorial Day, worst time is going to be in the pre-dawn hours. That's my expectation. But again, much like this, we had hours of crazy weather last night, but we also had hours of calm. You know what I'm saying? It just comes and goes. And so when you track these and try and time these, you can pull your hair out trying to track it all at once. By the way, the Ultimate Doppler Radar presented by your local Marco's Pizza. We got Hardin Valley, Farragut, Maryville locations, Fountain City, Halls, Oak Ridge. They have a location on Middlebrook Pike and Ebenezer Road. Your local Marco's Pizza, now under new ownership, new leadership, and better than ever. They're a corporate sponsor of No Kid Hungry. They do give quite a bit back to the local community. So if you're hungry this lunchtime, plan on a pepperoni magnifico, maybe for lunch or perhaps dinner. The lunch special I love is the Pozzoli. I'm a big fan of the pepperoni and sausage, but you might like the buffalo chicken or the chicken bacon ranch, or just plain old pepperoni. They're very good. Check them out at marcos.com. As we look at the big picture, no rain within striking distance at this hour. It's interesting. We're still under level 1 marginal risk for severe storms today. So we're cutting the chance of rain down, and even where it rains, it could pour. It's one of those situations. We have high dew points, high humidity. We're going to have the possibility of some locally heavy rain. But it's coming down in buckets around Little Rock. Looks like they've got a flash flood warning there in red around Little Rock, Arkansas, but nothing within striking distance in East Tennessee. We go further north, more severe weather in the Midwest. In fact, I can tell you this. Let me come back on camera. Looks like we had 21 tornadoes yesterday. There was not a declaration of a tornado in Cumberland County. The question often comes up. Tornado warnings means the potential was there. There might have been downed trees and power outages, which I know there were, but we don't have a declaration that there was, in fact, a tornado. That could change if they do some survey damage or look at that a little closely. And that would come from the Nashville office of NWS. By the way, we hit 77 yesterday. We picked up 3/4 of an inch of rain. That's an interesting perspective. That story's next. 0.76 was added to the rain bucket for the month for Knoxville. Normal high is 81, normal low is 59. The record high today is 92 from 1904. And yes, we've been in the 30s on this date. Back in 1883, we got down to 37. So if you're on the call, Lana Johnson says good morning. She's got a foggy Kodak. It is foggy here in Kodak. Lana, thank you for that update. I appreciate the virtual cup of coffee. Kelly says, good morning, everyone. Stay safe. Thank you for your warning for the tornado yesterday. My pleasure. Just trying to keep everybody safe. That's my job. To protect lives and property. That is the essential Hippocratic oath of all meteorologists. Doesn't matter whether you work in broadcast or you're on the radio or if you're for the weather service. To protect lives and property is supreme. Melissa says, good morning. Maybe it'll be a little calmer today. I think it will. Today's going to be a better day. And I, in fact, moved us from 79, expectation for a high. I moved it up 5 degrees to 84. And I'll explain why. But with the less rain, we're going to have more time to heat up the day. It'll be pretty fast to get into the low to mid 80s today. Kelly saying good morning. Bob saying good morning. And Melissa Sills' comments. So very happy. And if you're on YouTube, I'll be checking here. I'm looking at YouTube at this very moment. But no comments in at just this right time. Maybe a comment. I'll give you a shout out. Look at all the thunder, though, in the middle of the country. As I mentioned, there were 21 tornadoes. That breaks down to 16 in Nebraska. Nebraska got the worst of it yesterday, and then the rest was kind of spread about in the Midwest. And we have obviously had a concern in Cumberland County. Now, as far as the deficit, we're just really kind of academic. Didn't see much. In fact, the drought monitor has pretty much removed most of us from any concern of drought. And when you see the rain that's going to be coming, you'll say, yeah, that's not on my top of mind. I'm not worried about the rain situation. So let me give you an update, right? This may surprise you. I think if you're just playing the home game version, we went from 5.15. We're now in the white arrow there in May, 5.91. They said, well, what does that mean? That means we moved up 10 spots in one day. Yeah, one day? 0.76 was enough to go from the top 30 wettest Mays. Now we're at the top 20. So if the month of May were to end today, which it doesn't, it's only the 24th, we're going to get more rain. So we're closing in on 6 inches. Another inch would put us well into the top 10, right? Because almost the top 10. Top 10 1995 was 705, but a little more than an inch would put us certainly within striking distance. And this was my expectation, as my premium members know. I was talking about this the night that we had the Northern Lights. Back on the 10th of May, I was talking about, hey, I think we could be in the top 10. That's back when we still had over 4 inches. So, I mean, it's amazing, the fact that we've moved up now to the top 20 wettest Mays. Now, that we had a dry April, sometimes it's like the pendulum. Well, how does that happen? How does the same beach have low tide in the morning, high tide in the afternoon? There's something wrong. No, that's nature, right? That's just the way nature rides. And if you want to see the tide change this weekend, look at the future rainfall. This takes us through tomorrow morning, less than a 2/10 in Knoxville, perhaps projected by the modeling by 7 o'clock Saturday. I don't expect much rain tomorrow, and a 30% chance on Sunday. It's Sunday night, because I stopped the clock purposefully at 5 p.m. Sunday, right? Pick out your favorite town. Tell me if your numbers change from 5 o'clock Sunday evening into Monday. I said, well, yeah, look at that. Well, when's that coming? That's coming in late Sunday night. And that would skyrocket some of those totals to over 2 inches in yellow. Crossville might pick up 2.5. Somebody may get closer to 3. Or maybe it's just 1.5 inches in Newport and maybe 1 1/3 Morristown. But I will say this, if we get even close to this, we're in the top 10, probably most likely top 10 wettest Mays on record. And our records go back to 1871. Back when Ulysses S. Grant was president a long time ago. It's pretty significant. I have to say that the rain will be something to watch. By the way, as we come back now at 6:49, my goal is to be done in 11 minutes or less. I believe I can do it. I don't want to ignore the current situation, which is the poor visibility. I have a 0 there in Jonesville, Middlesboro, Jacksboro, Oneida. What does the 0 mean? It means the visibility is less than a mile. It's probably a quarter mile, half mile, maybe even an eighth of a mile, so please be careful while you're driving. It's down to 1 mile at McGee-Tyson, and it's 0 in Athens and McMinn County, the Southern Valley, dealing with fog too. 66 current temperature now. In Knoxville, it's moved a bit. 67 in Oak Ridge. We have a 63-degree temperature now in Rockwood. Coming back on camera, just want to check any comments. Nothing on YouTube. Let me know if you see something that you want to share. Linda Rice says, good morning, David. It is foggy. She says here in Cumberland Gap, have a great weekend. I hope everyone has a blessed Memorial Day weekend. Remember, every day is a gift. Even when it's stormy, just know that it's going to get better. I think today's going to be a good mood lifting up day because we're going to get less rain. We went from 80 to 40%. But we are going to see some changes. Denise says it's very foggy and muggy in Wallen. Thank you, Denise. And we said hi to Bob. Bob says it's really foggy coming up to Crossville on I-40. All that rain last night has had a chance to condense at the surface. It's really just like a cloud on the ground, right? So we don't have necessarily dense fog advisories, although that could change. Keep in tune with the Captain Accurate weather app, because if your county is under that type of advisory, you will be notified in real time. Now, if we have a 66 temperature, which we do, and we have a dew point temperature of 65, that's pretty high. I mean, when those two numbers match, you get 100% relative humidity, but we're certainly in the 90 percentile in many locations, so just be mindful that there is going to be some slowdowns here on a Friday. Some of us are anxious to get to the water, to the lake, to the swimming pool today. There'll be some opportunities, I think, to enjoy quite a few hours, actually, that will be actually rain-free for much of today. Wind speed, 3 miles an hour at the airport and 7 there in Morristown. Temperatures around the state are warmer. In Memphis, you can see where those red arrows are moving. They're moving from the south to the north through Jackson, Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, and then Tupelo, Mississippi. Again, southerly winds might be higher or more prevalent right now around Paducah. We've got winds are going to be generally variable southwest 5 to 10 during the course of your Friday. Tracking clouds and rain put together. Lots of hazy sunshine once the fog lifts. Once the fog burns off, as some would say, we're going to see more bright sunshine, because this would be the way it looks right now. And some of you may actually get some sun at this point. Sunrise did at 6:24. It may be smiling because there's less rain in the forecast today, but the sun goes down now at 8:42. You got to love it. It's still a little bit of twilight there as we approach the 9 p.m. time frame. It's amazing, and our days are only going to get longer for the next month or more. As far as the outdoor forecast, right, we're at 70 at 10, 78 at 2. Now, I was expecting 79 with an 80% chance of rain, but we've had to boot an about face and call an audible, because today we're likely to get in the low to mid 80s because there'll be less rain to work with. So the sun will be out longer, and we're going to naturally warm up a little faster. 85 for Newport now. Still have us in the upper 70s for Crossville, for Jamestown, but I wouldn't be surprised if Athens and Tellico Plains make it into the mid-80s this afternoon, so that's where I expect to be today. Any notes? Fred says, y'all have a safe and blessed weekend. Remember our fallen heroes on Monday. Absolutely, Fred, and that is, again, a very good point, as we are going to have, I think, the worst of the weather coming in late Sunday night, early Monday morning, but there will be some dry times on Monday to remember those who gave everything. And Melissa Sills sharing the very same thought. Wanda's wanting to know about the tropics. Hurricane season starts June 1st. Last I checked, there's nothing in the Atlantic or even the Pacific that's worth noting at this point, but things could change at any time. Another great reason to have the Captain Accurate weather app, because you do get all the updates. Yesterday was cooler. I mentioned it hit 77, so that's technically a below average day. A normal high is 81, so we were 4 degrees below normal on Thursday. But that came on the heels of 3, count them, 1, 2, 3, 3 days at 87? Yeah, and then we dropped 10 degrees. Big change, right? So there's not anything that's consistent in weather, right? It's always changing, and this is a good illustration. This is my extended almanac, which is often shown to my premium members. By the way, headlines: strong to isolated severe storms today. Even though it's only a 40% chance of rain, there's still that possibility that when it rains, it pours. It's going to be very unsettled late Sunday night and for parts of the holiday weekend. I don't want to describe it as completely a washout, because it will not be that way. 66 current temperature. There's the relative humidity. We have a dew point of 65, an air temperature of 66. So So that ratio brings us to a 96% relative humidity, which again is creating some fog in many areas. Valley Planner moving us up to 84. Very clear now that we have some scattered clouds, fog, hazy sun, and showers and storms will reappear in spots, but not everywhere. And as we saw from the 12-hour review, it can be and last for only a couple of hours, but then it's gone. So it can't necessarily characterize the entire weekend or day in this situation. Today I have us down to 40, 20% tomorrow, 30% on Sunday, and what's not here is that Sunday night. Sunday night, it's going to be 80. So 80% Sunday night if you are looking to have some fireworks, as it were, to kind of round out the Sunday time frame. Mother Nature will deliver her display. Her show will come in Sunday night into Monday, potentially. I want to show you this too. How often do you expect snow going into the month of June? And the reason I show this is because in order to have these tornadoes, like I said, we had 21 yesterday in Nebraska over here. Watch as this snow fills in here. I mean, it's pretty amazing the fact that we're this late in the season, and even into North Dakota, some areas could have a half foot, 6 to 12 inches of snow or more, right on the border of North Dakota and Canada. And so with all this cold air, you might not even know it's still snowing out there. Some of those folks out west were under winter storm warnings as recently as yesterday. So if you think about it, maybe you don't think about it, that in order to have these tornadoes break out in this time of year, it's the combination, the clash between the cold air and the warm, humid air that's moving and coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. But the snow potential, pretty amazing this late in the season. Storm Prediction Center, I want to show you the fact that we are still under the dark green, level 1, which refers to isolated severe storms. By the way, it's 6:56. Look how the map has changed a little bit. The Storm Prediction Center did carve out some areas in East Tennessee away from that coloring. But as far as the Midwest, that's not going to change. Dallas to Chicago to St. Louis will have scattered severe storms today. That includes Memphis. It includes areas around Jackson, Tennessee. But if you look a little more closely, the cutoff is probably between La Follette and Newport. Anything south of La Follette, south of Newport, there's a chance that we could get an isolated severe storm today. This includes the Southern Valley. It includes Madisonville. It definitely includes Kingston and Crossville. So again, take it for what it's worth. These areas might be more prime for when it rains it pours type of storm before today is through. Tomorrow, they did remove us, and I even thought that the expectation Saturday would be pretty much removed. I have spotty storms here, but it'll be nasty weather in Kansas City to Oklahoma City Saturday if you have family there. Wichita Falls, Texas, scattered severe storms. A little hot spot from isolated around Montgomery and also just south of Macon, Georgia. And another hot spot from Buffalo to Columbus, to Cincinnati, to Charleston, West Virginia. But really, the only issue here on Saturday might be an isolated storm. And that's what this would indicate. Not even a category, but it's still the potential for some thunder in spots on Saturday. Now, Sunday night, you've probably heard it here. We were talking about that would be a real hot spot. Look how St. Louis and Indianapolis becomes level 3. That's usually a good indication of downed trees, power outages, nasty storms, and maybe some tornadoes. That includes Columbia, Missouri, all the way to Cincinnati, Ohio. But you'll notice that most of Tennessee is certainly under the yellow, if not the dark green area. So these areas, especially west of, say west of Wartburg, has the best chance for the nastiest storms. But this will be a squall line that comes in from the west. I think we have the potential late Sunday night, early Monday morning. Speaking of Monday, there's no expectation. Monday shows very little, if any, severe weather. So like I said, once it gets out of here Sunday night, I think if you're making plans to remember, of course, the fallen on Monday, it should be better weather as we go into the morning hours. By the way, it's 6:58. My goal is to be done here in 2 minutes. So let's get to the futurecast and then the forecast itself. You can see it's all being driven by this warm front, which again, by 8 o'clock may still be draped across Alabama. It begins to lift. And that's why it puts areas south of La Follette, south of Newport under the crosshairs for maybe an isolated storm. But then there's some more activity later this afternoon. As you can see, it rolls right into town in spots right through the evening. Once we move into dark time, after it gets dark by 9 o'clock or later, a lot of it will slow down. Cold front tries to approach. I think this is well overstated. I think it's spotty at best on Saturday, but it's only going to lock and reload as we head into Sunday night. There's midday Sunday. There's 5 o'clock Sunday. Sunday's still pretty good. 20% chance of rain Saturday, 30% chance on Sunday, but Sunday night, that line's going to come in. And what time is that? That's 2:15. So that's very late. Sunday night, squall line comes in and kaboom, comes right into town. So by the time the sun's up at 8, 7 or 8, it's pretty much out of here. And that's why I think you're going to enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day without the harm or concern that storms are still pending. They'll be basically coming in Sunday night, very late. Futurecast shows the clouds in place. We got fog. We got clouds. By midday today, should be around 75. This is what this would indicate. Here's 2 o'clock projection. Around Athens, more showers and thunderstorms. Some showing up in yellow and red would be more moderate. 4 o'clock, moving us up to 84 today. There's 5 o'clock. So it's not completely rain-free, but I left a 40% chance all the same. Then as far as tonight, this would suggest even stronger storms coming in at the 8 o'clock hour. Much like last night, we want to keep an watchful eye on that. By 11 o'clock, it starts to slow down, and we do this all over again tonight, like we did last night in some cases. By 7 a.m. tomorrow, some spotty rain. I think most of Saturday will be dry. And there's 5 o'clock. We're probably closer to 86 now for Saturday afternoon, and lots of sunshine expected on Sunday with a similar pattern of about a 30% chance of rain. So for today, 7 o'clock, straight up 84. Hazy sun and clouds. A 40% chance for showers and storms. Winds do pick up 5 to 10 from the southwest. If you're in Maryville, Alcoa, good morning to you. High temperature now for 84 for you, 82 for La Follette, 83 for Morristown, expecting a high in Athens of 85. Temperatures around the state should be in the low 80s from Nashville to Jackson. Chattanooga 84, while Atlanta could run toward 87 this afternoon. Tonight we're down to 64, partly to mostly cloudy once it gets dark. And that's what I'm focused on here. The evening could still be part of the today forecast, but once it gets dark, it's humid, and the storms will start to slow down. But we'll go from mostly cloudy to start and then becoming partly cloudy overnight. Tonight we're down to 64 in Oak Ridge, 63 in White Pine, Morristown, and Russellville, 63 for a low in La Follette for tonight, and about 61 for Sevierville. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville and East Tennessee, 86 for Saturday. Right, 20% chance, and then you'll notice how that 80% chance just comes out of nowhere. It's Sunday night. That's when the main event, and we have a good chance of making a run toward 90 if we do so on Sunday. I did lower Saturday down by 2 degrees, but if Sunday is what I think it'll be, it'll come in very late. We'll be seeing a lot more in the way of the winds picking up. Expect Sunday to produce winds that are going to be probably 10 to 20 plus, and that southwesterly wind could make us push us near 90 degrees. It would be our first 90. And that would occur on Sunday, so I'll keep an updated forecast on that this afternoon. But I do think that's late Sunday night, still the time to watch. Just checking in some notes from you. I know it's 7:02. Thank you for your time. Wanda says, David, thank you. Have a good weekend. Know you keep us updated on the bad weather, so we will stay safe. Yes, Wanda, thank you for your support. And I want to go back to YouTube if you're on here. I got Felicia's Crafty Adventures. She says, happy Friday. Hello, Felicia. She says, have a safe and good weekend. I hope everybody has a great weekend. And remember what Monday's all about. But I know that many of us will be either on the water. And for those of you who have, remember, again, keep in mind, notice, I didn't even talk about this yet, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday could be some of the nicest weather with low humidity. It's all coming in after the holiday. I know if you're a fan of the low humidity, certainly the pollen is going to be high until the rain gets out of here. The rain is certainly going to have some impact on maybe reducing pollen. But my point is, by the time we hit Wednesday, Thursday, we could be closer to the upper 40s to near 50. So there's a big story there in itself, but that's next week. Again, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week shows temperatures dropping in the mornings, especially with lower humidity. By the way, if you haven't picked up the Captain Accurate Weather app, I hope you'll do so. You get all the National Weather Service alerts plus 3 extras that can be very helpful, if not life-saving. And I don't say that with hyperbole. The twisting storm approaching alert did go off during that August 7th tornado, the EF2 that hit West Knox County last summer, when the National Weather Service did not have the need or see the they did not issue a tornado warning for that, but we did get a twisting storm approaching alert. So it's good to have multiple sources, different set of eyes, but the radar experts of Barron do have some great tools and products that you'll find on this app as a Barron exclusive. And it's free. You get the lightning alerts. You get the dangerous storm approaching. That's a precursor to a severe thunderstorm warning. And you also get a BTI score of 0 to 10. 7, 8, or 9 means there's probably more likelihood of a tornado that's actually moving on the surface and on the ground. If you haven't picked up the premium service, check that out. If you want to find out about the weather that's going well into the month of June, we're talking about that in great detail each and every day. Beyond the next 7 days, you get to be the first to see my every forecast. You're also the first to see, you get more Facebook Lives. Usually on a Sunday, We'll plan for the week ahead. For our premium members, you get fewer ads. There's just so many benefits. It's only $4.99 a month. That's the price of a cup of coffee. I think it's the best weather bargain in East Tennessee. For all the information that I'm putting out, usually 15 to 20 posts a day. Now, you might not think I do that, because you might not be a premium member. You see, oh, I only see 2 or 3 a day. But if that's true, then check us out on premium. You'll get a lot more weather information if that is, in fact, what you would desire. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.